Alright. Welcome to day 48 of Naruto-ness, where we've got a roll call. We're gonna include you in the roll call. Okay, so got my lovely cup of tea. Yesterday was a nice cup, today is a naughty cup. I've got my 2 glasses of water, lovely. And of course the giant cup of water. And the boy has, what do you have in terms of beverages? You gotta hold it up. He's got a coffee. Lovely. That is the roll call for today. I always do roll calls with like whatever food or beverages I have alongside me. Yes, because I've got no one else. No one else here, so I've got my beverages and my food. Anyway, and I've just realised, just looking at this, you can't actually see what the hell's going on. So, ever since I changed around how I display the screen, oh my goodness, please do it. Please do it. Yeah, ever since I changed around how to display the screen, it's, there we are, completely, I keep forgetting to swap it around, especially when I'm going between games. But anyway, we're here, we're ready, let's go, waste no more time, let's do this. So who are we starting off with? Oh, and also, thank you so much to Mario XYZ for helping me realise that there's a 60 FPS mode on this game. So it's gonna look so much smoother. It's gonna look so much better. Oh my goodness. Oh no, it's too high frame to what I'm used to. But not actually, oh my goodness, it looks so much better. Goodness gracious me. This whole time I've been 30 oh then again, I've only been used to 30 FPS on the consoles. So it's not because I preferred 30 FPS, it's just because literally that's what I've been used to, so just my brain's just like, oh yeah, no, this is all good, this is looking fine. But no, see now for the last 71% of all these fights to go, it's a lovely FPSness, a lovely 60 FPS. So that's fabulous. Slowly, I find my way into the modern age. Very slowly. Oh, it's going so fast. Oh, it's amazing. Anyway, why the slight? Just randomly the controller's dropping inputs. I really hope it doesn't always keep dropping inputs. It's like, oh no, the controller can't handle it. But then again, it's an Xbox One controller, so you'd think it could. I might need to upgrade to the Series X controller. That's something we haven't done. That's something we haven't done in a while. We've done it on Game Pass. Pardon? Probably been stopped. Or did you stop it? Uh oh. Oh, and it hasn't automatically done it. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Oh my goodness. How did I not realise? Or like, how did I not realise I've been living in the dark ages? Oh, but this reminds, like, I don't know why, but the Game Pass thing reminded me. Whatchamapod, went on because obviously so me and the boy have both finished the story of God of War, so we're doing side content. That's going to take us a long time to do, or at least to get the platinum anyway. I want to get the platinum. Because I was only this year actually that I platinumed the other God of War. And that was just because it took me absolutely forever to do the multiple trials. The Valkyrie thing was actually too bad. Took me a few tries though. But anyway, what was I going to say? You know, so we've got to prepare for the next one. So still actually haven't finished Star Ocean because I didn't finish Star Ocean before the boy needed the PlayStation for God of War, and then by that point I'm like, I also need God of War. Whatchamabob. So what does that mean? Yeah, so I've got to finish Star Ocean after God of War, and then after that I've got to think of a game. But checking the PlayStation Plus thingy game catalogue yesterday, they've added all the Kingdom Hearts in, which so I don't need to play. They've done the 1.5, 2.5, and 3 on 2.8 as well. So I've done all those. But then the Melody of Memories or something, the faux Kingdom Hearts Guitar Hero essentially. They've added that in, and I haven't played that, and I am quite partial to a rhythm game, especially a themed one, because I'm definitely getting theatre rhythm. When that comes out, I'm still very undecided about whether I get it on the PlayStation or the Switch, but I'm feeling it might be the... Oh, thank you for the follow! I think, text file! Thank you very much, much appreciated. But yeah, but I feel like, oh my god, controller, stop, there we go. Whatchamabob. So it's between like the PlayStation or the Switch for it. I was thinking, well, the Switch has got all the touch controls, so that would be like, if they did use the touch controls for it. But then PlayStation's got all the trophies, so I'm like, I like getting trophies. Like whoever devised the trophy and achievement systems for Sony and Sony and Microsoft deserves a little gold star. Because my goodness, if you want a system to make someone want to play a game, it's that. Like, you know, the whole rewards, it's not even risk, just the whole reward system is enough for me to play a game more than I probably would otherwise. But yeah, and also enough for me to buy a game on a particular platform. Buy a game on a particular platform over another because it's got trophies. Now, I don't know if it's just the higher frame rate. I think it might be the higher frame rate. But fights are going a lot faster. Or maybe not necessarily fights going faster, but like my whole thing of trying to get all of the fights above 60 counts, it's feeling quite easy. And I don't know if that's just because I'm playing good characters that are easy to play as anyway, or it's the higher frame rate. In which case, whoa, I might blitz through my fights today. Considering I actually started the fights a couple of minutes early. Oh my goodness, this might be possibly a way to up my average fight count, because at the moment I think I'm averaging with the amount of fights I've done per the number of days I've done it in. I'm averaging about 70, although obviously there's days where I've done far above. I mean, I did 116 the other day, but that was on a because I wanted to do 116 on that day. Yeah, fights going so much faster. Or it's a weird cheeky time thing, and the fights are actually going the exact same time. Oh my god! Please don't tell me this controller's just slowly losing it. feel like this controller is slowly losing it. But only on the menus, not on anything else. What was I gonna say? Yeah, is it not that the fights are going faster, but because of the weird jiggy time thing, I'm doing the fights in the exact same time, but just the count goes slower. Possibly. Oh my god. Oh. If you're looking for the Xbox controller as well. So I think well, no, because I think a while ago, because as soon as I think it's just the cable I've got, whenever it goes even the slightest bit out, the controller disconnects. So I think I was like, if I just use a USB-C, which is probably a bit less likely to come out. But then I think when I connected it up, for some reason it just wasn't working. But then I think I was reading online that maybe the controller has to be fully updated for it to work, and so I think it had obviously been a while since we had, so that'll probably be why. Yeah. Yeah. That's right, yeah, we did. Oh, because where were you? Were you traveling? That's right. That's right, yeah. That's right, and I remember I was freaking out because when I put Assassin's Creed in, on the opening movie, there was a spot that it would freeze, and then I did it again, and it froze in the same spot, and I'm like, oh no, please don't tell me we've got one of those bung discs. But no, then eventually it sorted itself out. Lovely jubbly. Okay, we've got Jugo and Yamchoji. Yeah, would you say then that if a game came out on the Switch and the PlayStation and the Xbox, you would be more likely to go on one or buy it on one console versus the other because of the trophies or achievements? So like Assassin's Creed we always get on the Xbox kind of thing. Yeah. Because I was thinking about it, because when I get Final Fantasy Theatre Rhythm next February, which is like a rhythm game sort of thing, I was thinking, even though it would make sense to get it on the Switch because, you know, the touch controls would be kind of cool with it, I'm gonna get it on the PlayStation because of the trophies. I'm actually going to be so curious as to how many we managed to get done in 2 hours. Oh my goodness, I managed to actually hit an ultimate jutsu with Choji. Sasori. Come on, it was like just out of the range. That's better. Lovely. Oh, this is fantastic. This is so good. Oh, I think Mum's bringing a cheesecake for Christmas as well. She'll be able to bring it on the plane. She just have to have it in a container. Probably that morning. It'll be alright. Like, I'll leave it here. Probably the day after Christmas. No, yeah. That's the day. Yes. I forgot what it was called just now. Wait till he's in. Oh my goodness, bro. There we go. Alright, Sasori might give me the fist. Under 60. Under 60. Right. Lovely. Maybe not. Right. So now we've got Iruka and young Sakura. Okay, we're getting finally a good mix of peeps. I feel like Iruka's going to be one of those characters, will definitely be a character that, once I get to like the final 500, is going to be one of the people that I need to do like 30 fights with, because I've hardly touched him otherwise. But then again, that's the nature of randomness. Like, even though everything's random, there have definitely been like 5 or 6 characters that 5 or 6 characters that have just been picked way over all the others. And thankfully, some of those characters are dumb ones, so I can get through them quicker. Right, finish that. And then onto my waters. Okay. You find the hunting spots. Oh yeah, what today? Oh yeah. I think it's like a real spin. Oh, that's what? This is amazing. The 60 FPS has changed my life. It actually has. Anyway, moving on. Now we're not young Sakura. Old Sakura with young Shikamaru. The more I hear about the Sonic Frontiers game, the more I'm just like, god damn, I actually want to go get it like right now, sort of thing. Cause yeah, it's apparently it's really, really good, and it's got one of my like favorite thing is an evolving soundtrack. So like kind of like the backing music changes or develops, like depending on what you do, kind of thing. Yeah, or like no, it's on all the consoles. Yeah, so I'll get on PlayStation. Yeah, it came out last week, I think. Yeah, I'm not rushing to get it straight away, but it'll be one of those things. If I find myself with $100 spare, that'll be me. Although, Crisis Core, I've got to put 100 aside on my next pay for Crisis Core because that will come out mid-December, and that's first week rather than day one. Not day one, because it's a remaster of a game that's already come out, but it's obviously there's going to be more in it that's related to what they're doing. It's gonna play a crucial role, I'm sure, in what they're doing with 7 Remake stuff, but because it's not 7 Rebirth, it's like, you know, because it literally is the Crisis Core game but just remastered and stuff, it's like it's not gonna have too much that will be different, I think. But then again, I say that and it could just like completely be a complete different ending, just half what I'm expecting. But like I'm not, yeah, so therefore it's a first week rather than a first a day one. Like I wouldn't take time off work for it, kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas like the more I'm thinking about 16 and 7 Rebirth, I'm like, maybe I might just take the whole week off work. Now we've got, oh no, and then Darubi again. No chakra left, which is, so like the strategy is you have to give yourself enough chakra so when they substitute and then so as soon as they substitute you've got enough to just super quickly dash in and try and hit them with another combo. Like the amount of times I've caught myself out on that where I haven't had chakra enough to dash in and they'll substitute and they'll go in for the kill kind of thing. Like that. And then I waste a substitution when they don't dash in. Right, but anyway, we're at Sasuke Kage and Hiruzen. Dang. Lovely. Goodness gracious, these are tearing through these fights. Come on. Yeah, it's like it's going too fast for the controller, but at least on the menus, it's weird. On the menus that it's doing it, but not necessarily on the actual fights themselves, which is odd. Orochimaru and Haku. You're getting a nice mix of peeps. It's great. Anyway. Oh, we're gone. Oh, it's really interesting, like watching this situation with Twitter going down, because it's like, it's almost like, because the decisions that they're making are so counter to common sense, it's like you think, is it a complete elaborate prank that's going on? Because it's like they're firing everyone. They're accidentally locking themselves out of the buildings by firing the person in charge of the security keys. They're saying, right guys, you've got 3 days to decide whether you're going to lock yourself into working on Twitter 2.0 or we're going to give you 3 months severance pay, and then everyone just takes the 3 months severance pay and bugs off. Like, you know, they're firing all these people, they're changing all this stuff, they're like, the verification thing's just gone completely like, what the hell? There's outages everywhere because they haven't got enough people to fix all the IT issues. Like, yeah, like everything's just going wrong there, and you almost wonder like, how and why? Like, is this being done on purpose? Like, is it like in a, you know, I want to believe that Nikocado Avocado is actually, this is a big social prank that he's doing. Like, oh, that would be probably the best thing ever that's happened in the history of ever, is that he comes out and is like, so guys, I wanted to put on weight, and here's what society, you know, here's what the general public, this is how they reacted, you know, all that sort of thing. Yeah. Well, no. So, Nikokadas would be a social experiment, and Twitter would be a social prank. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then, like, you know, Elon's will be like, oh, actually, we haven't fired everyone because, and we've told everyone to say all this because, you know, it'll be for you know, for laughs, to see how y'all be reacting. Oh god, nice. Although everyone's now everyone's kind of got the attitude now of, you know, metas slowly disintegrating, cryptos are being you know, plummeting in value. Yeah. Yeah, and everyone's just laughing, like, oh well, this is what happens. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Now we're down to... We've hit 7,900. So let me just super quickly update the list. 7,900. Fabulous, fabulous, lovely. Now we've got Sasuke Kage again. And Kabuto, the Cloak Blue. You know, because it does kind of, it shows like you should never put your whole livelihood into one thing, and especially something as volatile as a social media platform and cryptocurrency, because then as soon, yeah, oh my god, older sister had a Bebo, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but like the people whose like income solely derives from all of these things, and then as soon as they're gone, like that's it, like done. Yeah. Yeah, it's like they always say with something like Twitch is never rely on it as your sole source of income, because like you're putting yourself in so much danger. That's why like everyone diversifies. They've got like sponsorships, they've got merchandise, they've got, you know, the app that will not be named. They've got all of this sort of stuff. So there's other sources of income that they're getting. Yeah, the app that everyone has, but no one likes to admit they have. Actually, yeah. Yes, yeah. Lovely. Great. And now we're down to Orochimaru and Han. Yeah, it struggles to keep up in the menus, but then everything else is fine. Weird. Anyway. What do you want for breakfast? Breakfast? Toast? Yeah? Oh, we've got the mashy and the chicken, oh! Oh yeah. Thank you so much for the follow, Starlix Bread. Much, much appreciated. I hope you're doing well. Abomakitsky. Oh goodness. Obama Katsuki, what, that is such a great name. I love it. But no, how are you? How are things on your neck of the woods on this fine, what's a fine, lovely grey morning for us, but a lovely morning nonetheless. The weird janky hands. I can't. Every time I see that image, I'm like, is it? Have they just done a goof and they've picked a frame from the anime that? Because you know, like when you get like your anime fight scenes, and you kind of actually go frame by frame, and you realize that they're not perfectly, super accurately drawing every single frame. Like some frames have got weird distortions because that's just the nature of animation. To get it to look quite fluid, you draw some really weird frames, and they've just picked one of those janky frames because that hand, every time I see that cut of image, it's just like that hand, I cannot get over it. Because that was something we learned in at university, because we did, animation was studying animation, I suppose, was 1/3 of the course that we did alongside gaming and visual effects. And when we were looking at how they did all their 2D animations, some frames they would like stretch out the faces or stretch out the limbs, because then when you play it all in when you play it all back, it doesn't look like like they've done that. Like your brain wouldn't notice that they've done it, but it just helps with that, like almost like the elasticity or the fluidity of the character animations that they do. And but to get it to be done, you have to do all these really weird frames every now and then just to get there. Oh, beans. Thought I'd be able to block just in time. Alas. Alas. Come on, I'm probably not even going to try to get the ultimate in. It's just going to be too much damage. Lovely. Right, what have we got next? We've got Ino and young Obito. Battle 31. So I might actually, at this rate, the rate I'm going, I could possibly hit 90 fights in 2 hours, which would be amazing. Because if that became my average, that would be lovely. Actually, no, if 90 became my average, then, what should I call it? Then what would happen? I would finish all this in September next year. I think if I average 100, it goes up to August next year, which would be even lovelier. I think it's end of August as well. Oh god. Get my tracker up. Lovely. That fight should have gone so much faster. Normally, I'm fast with Ino, but for some reason, not that time. What's the fight we got after this? Rin and Orochimaru again. Goodness. Oh. Oh. Lovely. Right, now I need to wait. What I should be now doing is waiting. My substitution's due. There we are. I was going to say my substitution's due to restock itself now. And I'm going to cheese the whole rest of the fight. Almost. And there we are. Lovely. Right. Rin and Orochimaru. What, on a PS2, what are the cables at the back that plug into the TV? Is it AV or is it HDMI? It is AV. Oh, when did HDMI come out? Oh, the more I know. It goes to show my lack of technical knowledge. Whatchamacallit? Because if you get a PS2, I was just thinking, because I really wanted to play, I really want to play some of the old Naruto games on stream. So then we'll be able to, because I've got the AV to HDMI converter. Look at that, will be great. Yeah, because I really wanted to play. I always find some way of any discussion I've got around Naruto games, I always bring it back to Ultimate Ninja 2. Always, always. And, oh my god. And I really, really, really want to play Ultimate Ninja 2 on stream because it's probably, is it my favourite? It's probably not my favourite. Ultimate Ninja game. Actually no, because I think I've got Ultimate Ninja 5. I think it's only Ultimate Ninja 3 that I'm missing on disc. Or I had on disc. I don't know where the disc has gone. Must have been on theirs. But I really, really, really wanted to play all those old ones. Just so, you know, people who have played the Storm games but have never played the Ultimate Ninjas on the PS2 can experience the majesty of the Ultimate Jutsus. I think, oh my god, they're fantastic. Oh my god, they're amazing. They're just so insanely creative, and they are my love, the love that I have for Naruto. Like, a lot of it actually stems from the coolness of those ultimates. They were just so sick. Like half of the characters that I thought were cool were just derived from which ones had the coolest ultimates. Oh my god. Right. There we are. Right, we're good now. Kisame and Yangi. Because I think Ultimate Ninja 1 and 2 have the same types of ultimates, but I think I only ever rented out Ultimate Ninja 1. I never actually owned it on this. But anyway, I owned Ultimate Ninja 2. And you know, the ultimates would be, you'd have, well, the chakra gauge is basically broken up into little stages. So you can do an ultimate at each stage, but it's obviously its damage is way reduced. And they would just be these cool little like cut scenes. It's essentially cut scenes, but then what you'd have to do is there'll be different stages to them. Some have more stages than others, but depending on it, and I think you could set it that all of them are like it, but in the settings, but depending on what it was, basically you and the opponent face off to like see who can get the most points in these little mini games. So one will be you've got to mash a certain button, and whoever mashes it the most in a 3-second gap wins, essentially. Or there's ones where you have to rotate the right analog stick, and the person who gets the most rotations wins. And then there's another one where you just have to input button combinations, and whoever inputs the most buttons does it. But then what happens is then if you win, your ultimate thing is able to carry on to the next stage and do more damage, and then you know the same thing happens again. But then if the opponent wins, then they can cut it short, essentially. Yeah, which is, it's neat. It's a neat idea. You know, so if you've just got an opponent who's just amazing at button mashing, and you happen to pick one that's got the button mash, then he will just cut it short. You get him saved from like a hell of a lot of damage. And yes, they had that. And then Ultimate Ninja 3 had a similar thing, except they only had one ultimate, but you could unlock new ones. And because the characters actually had levels as well, so you could go up to level 50 on all the characters, and you'd unlock ultimates, I think, through them. Although what? Although some characters, obviously like Naruto and Sasuke had heaps, and everyone else had like 3. And like Minato had 1, and he wasn't even called Minato, it was just the Yellow Flash. That sort of thing. Yeah, but then so you'd pick that, and then I think depending on which one you picked, you either had to have your chakra gauge like part of the way or all the way full to be able to actually do it. And then also depending on what it was, your character would go into like another state afterwards. So like say Choji did his butterfly thing, he would then afterwards go into like his butterfly mode sort of thing. And like so like after the Vermilion Rasengan, Naruto would go into his one-tailed fox mode, that sort of thing. I think I'm pretty sure for the rest of the fight as well, I think. Can't quite remember that one. Yeah, so that was Ultra Ninja 3. Ultra Ninja 4 was... They went back to having set ones, but then they had things like reversals and ultimates. I think they had combo ones as well. So if you've got a particular person as a support character, then you do like a special combo one. And then they had reversals, and I can't remember what reversals were. But it was another type of one where I can't remember the conditions for them. Maybe it was when you're on your second health gauge, I think, possibly. Maybe. Anyway, but then those headset ones, and I think those went back to the button inputs and thingies as well. And then Ultra Ninja 5 had, I think, the same system as Ultra Ninja. Had the same system as number 4. I don't think they changed it. But then obviously there was more more characters, so more combinations and the like. Okay, young Kakashi and Tsunade. Yeah, and then the best thing about those Ultra Ninja games was, I think Ultra Ninja 2 and 3 had their own like original stories, I believe. And yeah, so I think Naruto had, there's a thing called like the Gedo mark or something, where Orochimaru basically, or no, yeah, it was after the tuning exams, so Orochimaru's arms were all sealed. No, it's my first fight under 60 counts. Oh no. Anyway, so then Kabuto could like mind control Naruto essentially, and then he just goes on a big rampage around the village. And then number 3 had, was I just playing as? And Kakashi. And 3 had, it was like a tournament where you'd fight each other and you get these little crystals or whatever, and then whoever had the most crystals after, you know, day 1 goes to the next round, and whoever's got the most crystals after the finals gets to fulfill one wish. Or basically, there's one law that gets, you get to choose a law that gets passed in the village. So like, Tenten's like, Tenten and Unko, I think, are like, all the prices of dumplings are gonna be like dropped 50%. You know, and whatever the law is within reason has to be honoured. And then of course, so you know, Naruto wins because he does. And so he's like, I'm calling it the Hokage switch, like the Hokage switch law, where I'm gonna become Hokage for a day. And then Tsunade's like, okay, sure thing, bruh. And then it just like cuts to Naruto in the office, having to like stamp all these papers, and he's just like, I want to go out and like do stuff, I don't want to do all this paperwork. And then Tsunade's like, oh well, that's what you signed up for, bruh. Like, Hokage's not just, you just wear a hat and sit in an office. You got to stamp like official paperwork and all this sort of thing. So he's like loses it, and then it just cuts to Tsunade and Shizune and Hot Springs just having like the most relaxing day ever. Tsunade's like, oh my god, I need to do this more often. And it's interesting when it goes to Old Ninja 4 and 5 stories, because Old Ninja 4 gets you all the way up to, I think you, you don't actually fight Deidara, you follow him. It's the bit where Kakashi and Naruto are following him through the forest. You do that, you get to the forest, and then like the illusory Itachi appears there. Was he illusory at that point? I think so. I think you fight him, and then he's basically like, right, over that way down the forest is where Deidara is. And then the story ends, like, it ends. And obviously what's happened is, the English anime hadn't, or the English dub hadn't caught up, or hadn't gone past that point essentially. So they just kind of such an abrupt end. It's not like a big final boss with Deidara either. It doesn't finish that arc. It just ends there. And then obviously Old Ninja 5. I think 5. Yeah, 5 redoes it again. Like you do that whole thing again, but this one's cool because then you play as Lee and Neji and all them, and you go and do all of their when they're fighting those copies of themselves. They you do all those fights, which is pretty cool. And what should we call it? And what? Yeah, but so redoes all that, and then I think it gets to as far as the when they go and fight when you fight Sasuke in Orochimaru's hideout there. That's, you know, at least it's the most conclusive fight as well. But the other thing too is that, because it only came out probably a year or two after the Old Ninja 4, but then what happened was the whole game is in Japanese. There is no option to change the voice into English at all. Like, I went through every menu, I'm like, how the hell do I change this game into English? Go online, you know, back in the day when I hardly ever went on the interwebs because I was still too young. Well, not too young, but had no real reason to go on the internet at all. Googled it, and what? Yeah, and it's like, yeah, you can't. And then, oh no, I remember reading somewhere that apparently the reason why the whole game was in Japanese and it could not be changed is because the English dub hadn't gotten up to that bit yet. So they had no, like, so they couldn't go past, couldn't go past it or something? Because then someone was saying, oh well, hang on a second, but like, they're using the same voice actors. Why does it matter with the English dub or not got forward? Because they, like, it's got nothing to do with the game. But then apparently it was for some sort of legal reason. It's like, you can't, like, they couldn't go past the point that the English dub was at in terms of the same sort of material. Like, obviously the lines and everything would be different, but they couldn't go past it for whatever reason, like contractually almost, kind of thing. So that they said screw it, the whole thing's in Japanese, like it has to be. So it was weird. It was so odd, but it was a fabulous game. Because it's cool because then there's a I think, yeah, you can do it post game thing. Yes, no, because there'll be points in the game where when you do do your story missions, then there's like little kind of like essentially post game side quests, and there's a point where you get like a letter and it says, well, you do something, and you basically says, oh, we found a secret area or whatever in Orochimaru's hideout. So then you go there, and then it cuts to Sasuke when he's in there, like training, and Orochimaru's like, yeah, basically there's this, I've got this area for you, train away, and then it's like it's like a 50 room mini dungeon essentially, where you go around, and there's like because you can then level up your character, and so he can do like his Chidori attack and all that sort of thing, and he can kind of blast through broken walls, and he can send like, I think he sends birds to go and like unlock other switches, and he fights all these bandits or whatever in it, and so, and then I think when you get to the end, I can't remember exactly what the prize is at the end, but anyway, you get there, and then once you've done that, because I think it's also optional as well to go the full distance, I think it's all entirely optional. Then you have the option to do the exact same thing with Naruto, Sakura, and Shinji. I think it's those three. I can't remember if you're locked into. Oh no, I think you can pull Kakashi in as well. Or I think you can choose. You can choose anyway who you bring in. Something like that anyway. Oh my god. A 60-year-old grandma egg. Okay. And then after this fight will be... Excuse me, I'm going to update the list because now we're down to 7,878. Okay, so now 7,878, that's what I said, didn't I? Lovely, jubbly, jubbly. Now we got Kaguya and So in an hour we've managed to get 24 plus 22 is 46. So we should be able to, in theory, get to about possibly close to 90 in 2 hours. Okay, now I'll just actually do normal Rasengan because I find that super barrage, for whatever reason, is pointless. Like, it's only good if they dodge the first one, and then you can just hit them with the next one that comes afterwards. But otherwise, it's practically useless. Massive for the win. And what a screen. Okay, now we've got is young Kakashi again. Yeah. And Haku again. But I don't mind because I love Haku. But no substitutions. Do another one of those. Lovely. I'm gonna try and pour. Didn't lose too much, which is great. Haku and who was I just playing as? Kakashi. Right now. now. Okay. Hashirama and Kankura. Oh, that's right. Apparently there's a big the next big it's not necessarily controversy, but it's so with the Game Awards, with the best narrative category, it's called this big hullabaloo because Elden Ring was nominated for that. And they said, and people have been saying, what narrative? There is no narrative in Elden Ring, blah blah blah, all this sort of stuff. And then they've got Corey Balrog saying, you know, games can tell narratives in 50 bajillion kinds of ways. You don't need just, you know, story cutscenes to tell a story. You know, you can. There's all these different ways to do it. And now it's starting like a big, like I said, like a hullabaloo online of what is a game narrative and what's a good game narrative style versus others, and, you know, do games even need narratives, and what happens if a game doesn't have narrative? It doesn't mean it's a good game. And it's just like this whole big thing, all because Elden Ring was in a category that some people disagreed with. Like it's like there's becoming this ever since, like it's I don't know if it's just this year in particular that it's happening with, but everyone's getting so like this whole Elden Ring versus God of War thing is getting almost a bit just like too extreme. Like, yeah, like it's not the end of the world if one wins over the other, and it's not and if God of War wins, it doesn't mean that they're saying that Elden Ring's bad, and vice versa. And it's not saying that the way Elden Ring does world and narrative is better than God. You know, it's all this sort of stuff, and it's just like at some point you just want to say, okay guys, it is just a game. Like at some point you just want to say that. But yeah. Because everyone, like, everyone's saying, like, just because you like one thing doesn't mean that everything else is bad. That's all, like, like people are saying that this this desperate need to have your thing be the best thing. Are they saying, is this just a manifestation of people's insecurities? What's that? Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's like, yeah, I absolutely love Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and Zelda and all that. Some people think those games are shockingly bad. I don't care. It doesn't mean that it is bad and I shouldn't like it. I still love it. I will still cry over it. I will still do all my usualness. Which just means that one particular person in the world won't be playing it, which is fine. who was I just playing as? And, you know. We're at 54. Oh yeah, no, we're making a real good time. Lovely. Now we've got Shisui and Kushina. We'll do Fireball Jutsu. Why not? Last one, and lovely. Krishna and Shisui. I'm actually like, I'm really looking forward to. No, am I looking forward to the Game Awards? If, by some reason, by some act of the devil, Stray wins Game of the Year, for like my faith was already lost in the games industry. Was it 2020? Was it? No, it wasn't last year. No, it wasn't last year the game was Ghost of Tsushima came out. It was the year before, wasn't it? Yeah. Faith was already lost then. But if Stray wins this year, faith is lost. Completely, utterly broken. Error cannot be regained ever in the history of ever. I will be distraught. I'll cry. Oh, I remember I was reading a thing about how the people think that the games for impact category is nonsense. And I was reading the article and I could, like, these people, it was like the point, like, there's the point of it and they're like on the other side of the world compared to it. They completely miss what they're trying to say in that category. They just completely missed the point. They were, because I think what they're trying to do with the games for impact is games that have a pro-social message. So, you're building a game you know, the message in the game is, you know, important socially, or even has been built with that message as the central point of the game, you know, all those sorts of things. So these people were like, oh wait, so are you saying that that all the games in here, you know, all games, you know, other games don't have a pro-social message? Are you saying that these are the only ones that have anything to say? Well, I think that that's wrong, and all this sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah. I'll even bring it up because it was so bad. It was actually so bad. I think it was Kotaku as well, so it was already bad. Yeah. Yeah. Yangara. And it was Tamari. Oh yeah. The award itself imposes a limiting view of what thoughtful games can be. That's not what it's saying at all. It's not saying that only the games that they've nominated are the kinds of games that can have that pro-social message. That's not what they're saying. Like, they're not saying that the 5 most anticipated games are the only anticipated games, you know? It's just because it's like, you do realise that they have to shortlist. Yeah, so thought-provoking game with a profound social meaning is what the category is. Oh, so of the 6, they've only played 1. But I'm sure they're all fine games. It doesn't change how insulting the category feels. Oh, I see. I see. I see. Then again, I will acknowledge my own bias in the sense that all the games nominated for Game of the Year, I've only played a handful. So I will acknowledge that. Yeah. What, you know, take pro-social for example. What even is a pro-social game? Let's assume that it refers to non-violent games. I don't think anyone looks at pro-social and thinks non-violent. Like at all. I'm clear-eyed about how video game violence is evaluated. The game with more murder is often considered more serious, prestigious, and game-like. No? You know, what's it? It's not Payday. What's the name of that that game? Oh, Postal. I don't think people consider that prestigious and game-like because it's got more murder. Or is it what's the name of what's that other one? It's not Rage, it's the one with like the guy who looks like a goth metal band member. Yeah, that one. That one's more prestigious and game-like in that sense. Oh, this person. Anyway, if the award body thought that Teenage Exocolonist is a marvellous game for not simulating human murder, then it should be in the Game of the Year category. Hatred, that's what it's called. Otherwise, it just feels like our industry is trying to say, our medium isn't solely war crime simulators, we have non-violent games too. That's boring. Well, no, but like, they've like I said, the point and them is like on opposite bloody planets. Oh, does it mean that a game has characters of a certain spectrum? If so, then I think that's even worse. Like, bruh, pro-social message does not mean all of these things. A pro-social message means any, like, pro-social, like, your interactions with other people, your, you know, how society can conduct itself in a civilized way, getting away from isms and phobias and all this sort of stuff. Like, that's what they mean by pro-social. That it's got a important message to say about just life and society in general. Not because it's not violent. Yeah. Oh, so okay, yeah. This is, oh my god, again, the point in them. So does it mean that a game has LGBTQ characters? If so, then I think that's even worse. All video games should be held to some basic standards where representation is concerned. I will challenge that to a point. Anyway, especially if they're multi-million dollar budgets and talent and global access to global talent. We shouldn't be recognizing a fraction of games for attempting representation. And again, that's not what the category is about. We should expect it from God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West. It's telling that these two games both feature diversity, but they're not nominated for Games for Impact. Like, maybe it's because Games for Impact isn't about that. And then they say because it's the consolation award category of the Game Awards. I think Games for Impact is. Don't think it's flattering to big blockbuster games either. AAA games force me to have meaningful thoughts all the time. It's not just indie games that are capable of stimulating my brain into having an opinion about the world around me. I worry that if we limit thought-provoking mechanics to indie games, then it might be harder to criticize big budget games because they're not considered the right type of games to scrutinize for pro-social themes. Again, it's kind of like it's kind of like one of those like the statistic that people will pull out a statistic, but it's kind of like I don't know. What's an example? So like people who eat meat are more likely to get protein from meat sources. Well, obviously, yeah, because, yeah. So it's kind of like, it's then, like, what they're not trying to say is the only indie games are going to be nominated in the Games for Impact category. Indie games are more likely to focus on pro-social messages than a big AAA game. So therefore, you're more likely to see an indie game in that category than you would God of War or whatever. Again, missing the point completely. Anyway, so I know why this category exists. The Game Awards is a popularity contest in which the most well-known games or titles with the largest budgets typically sweep the awards, but to maintain a facade of meritocracy, the awards need to give some recognition to the most prestigious indie games. Okay. I just wish they could have done it by letting Citizen Sleeper be a Game of the Year contender, or by nominating Teenage Exocolonist for Best Role-Playing. The awards would still be uneven, but it would give smaller games a better chance of being considered for artistic and technical achievements, rather than sequestering them to the kiddie pool. End of article. So basically what they're trying to say is, why are the indie games that I like not in Game of the Year? Basically, is what they're saying. And I'm like, you do realise an indie game won Game of the Year in 2013. Like, it was a rip-off completely and utterly. It's not a consolation prize that they're trying to put in because they want, you know, all the big budget people get all salty when the indie game takes up their spot. It's just because maybe, it's just goddamn. You could say Stray is an indie game. That's a Game of the Year, I think. I think Stray's in the game or classified as one. Yeah. Like heaps of indie games are nominated. It's just what they classify as indie game. Like they're probably there's indie games which are there's small indie games and there's big indie games. Yeah, in fact, actually, there's heaps of games that have won, like Hellblade, Cinema Sacrifice, that won, I remember that winning awards, that's an indie game. Celeste, which I would say is a pro-social message, that got heaps of awards. So, yeah, no, that article belongs in the rubbish bin. I'm sure the author is a great person, but the article belongs in the rubbish bin. But actually, the more I think about it, that article was such a non-article. Because what okay, so what are we doing then? What do you want to happen? Do you want the category to get scrapped? Do you want like God of War and Games for Impact? Do you want My Life as a Teenage Ex-Colonist, do you want that in Game of the Year? Like what do you want? It's like, you know, don't moan about a problem if you don't have a solution. You know, and rather than saying, oh, well, what do they even mean by pro-social? You know, do they mean this? Do they mean this? It's like, well, we'll find out. You're a journalist, aren't you? Isn't your job to find things out? Just ask them. Do some investigative journalism. Say, hey, Mr. Jeff Keaton, sir, what do you mean by pro-social? Like what kind of what was your sort of criteria when you're looking at these games? And he'll be like, well, Mrs. Sir, here's what we meant, and they'll be like, oh, fantastic, thank you very much for clarifying that for me. Last one. Okay, young control. But I suppose that's the whole thing with awards ceremonies, though, isn't it? It's there will never be anyone happy about. There's no like winner where every single person is like, yep, that was very well deserved. Everyone always has an opinion. Like everyone says that the Oscars are now just BS because, you know, like American Sniper I think won Best Picture or something, and they're like, oh well, yeah, it's the most patriotic American film for an American award ceremony kind of thing. So of course they're going to give the American award ceremony is going to give the American patriotic American film the best picture. or if not that, it'll be the film that they're going to get the least pushback, or like if the film that they have to give because otherwise they're going to get people. They're going to get a Twitter brigade being like, excuse me, this is a travesty of justice. Right, now we've got Rin and Kabuto. And after this one, I'll update the list because we'll be down to 7,856. Oh, just blitzing through there today. 50 FPS for the win. Update the list. We've got Naruto and Han again. Okay. 7,856. Lovely. Jubbly. And who was I saying? Han. Do you want eggs on toast for breakfast? You're not too hungry? I just got this deja vu just now. Although I'm just now thinking it was probably a character that also had a red that I did a substitution and then did the ultimate with Naruto with. I will. Yvonne says hi. He says hi back. Who was I just playing? I was facing hard. Losing it already. It's gone so well this morning and then I'm sort of now losing it. Losing my grip. Anyway, but no, how are you? How was your morning? Faster to try and do. No, it won't be faster to try and do continent. Maybe it actually might be. No, actually no, it should be good. Lovely. Right, now we've got Guy and Kabuto Sage mode. Ick. Guy and let's say Kabuto Sage. Oh, nice. It's always great when you have a job that you can just like chuck your headphones in and just listen to your own stuff while you're working. It's like the it's nothing like working at a supermarket where you can't put your headphones in and just knuckle down and work, because you have to be able to listen to the intercom to be like, can someone please come to checkout, please? Excuse me, we've had a death in aisle 7. Can we need a health and safety person here to what's the word? Control the scene to whatever. It's nothing like that. You're just like, I just want to listen to my music. I don't want to listen to this god awful, what I call my PNS PTSD PL. You good? I call it my PNS PTSD PL, e.g. my PNS PTSD playlist. That they had songs which I think are governed by foodstuffs, like the head office of the cooperative. They in charge of the music, and they play all the recent tracks, but like they're not playing the recent tracks, they're playing the recent tracks from like a year previously, and they play the same songs over and over again. And it's not like some things where there's a set order that they play them in. So you listen to a song and you're like, right, we've reached the end of the loop, let's start from the beginning. And it's like, it's randomized, but they must have told certain songs to be played more than others, because then they play different kinds of songs at different parts of the day. So like at sort of in the evenings and on like the quiet times, they'll be playing like 80s songs for like, David Bowie and Starship and Pat Benatar and Michael Jackson, all these sorts of things. And then during the busy times, or maybe even the times that the people who choose these songs would be in the office, is all just, I don't even know the names. I don't even know the names of the people. Like recent music, I've just got absolutely no knowledge of any of it. But it's just the same songs over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and it's like, it makes me go mad. And I would come home and I would be like humming them and singing them. I'm like, I don't want to be doing this. Like, and the boy's like, he's like, oh, was that another song at work? I'm like, yes, and I can't get it out of my head, and I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I hate it with an absolute passion. So now that I'm no longer working, whenever I hear those songs in the wild, I kind of just go like, ugh, ugh, like, ugh, no, go away. And it's kind of, yeah, just have this like flashbacks, all flashbacks to these songs, my goodness. And again, still don't know what they're called. Couldn't tell you what the names of these songs are. And I have no inclination to find out either. Right, this is gonna be a fight, isn't it? Excuse me. You good? Having an anu. Oh yeah. And like the thing is, I could understand completely why they, you know, you're not supposed to listen, you know, not putting any headphones in, because in case you're needed on the other side of the story, like you need to be able to listen out for it. But it's like, if they need me, I've got a desk phone, and there's telephones everywhere. Wow, that fight went so much better than I was expecting it to. Okay, now we've got Naruto, Toad, and who's he fighting? Yamato. Fabulous. Oh yeah, wasn't a total again, but I'll take that. Now, just one more. Lovely. And then go. Oh, no, back. Oh, can I? Can do unlimited, but I don't want to do unlimited because I want to make sure I'm keeping myself to a time limit. Yeah, it's always the case where they know by law that they can't do certain things, so they will just be like trying to not necessarily get like loopholes, but sort of they would just, yeah, you could just tell that it always sucks when your managers don't have your back at all. Like I'm so eternally grateful. I'm in a job right now where everyone in the whole company, and there's only like 20 people anyway, but everyone there, like from the highest to the lowest in terms of job title, everyone there has your back and wants you to succeed. And it's just like complete night and day situation to when you're working somewhere where just like if your manager doesn't like you, or they just, you know, would rather have someone else in there, they will just try and find a way of either antagonizing you or just, yeah, they'll just, ugh. It's good managers and there's bad managers, but and you kind of feel that you always feel that you always feel when the higher ups don't like you, you feel kind of powerless completely, because you know if you ever went, if you had a genuine problem, that they would just, as soon as you tell them, and they'll be like, okay, yep, we'll see what we can do. And then as soon as you walk out the room, they'll just be laughing. They'll be giggling. They'll be like, they'll be talking to the managers. The other managers being like, oh my god, do you know what she said? She said this, and they'll be like, oh, that's so funny. Like, she's just so lame. What else was that? And the fact that I say that is because I know that happens. I know that sort of stuff was what was going on. I was within earshot of it all happening. It was just, It just, you lose all faith in management completely. I know that nowadays, especially when especially when you're on like LinkedIn, which is just Facebook for, it's like working wine moms is what LinkedIn's for. It's like the sort of stuff that a wine mom would put on Facebook, but it's all work related. That's what LinkedIn is. But anyway, so the zeitgeist at the moment, I guess, with work and culture is the whole like team, what's a team and what's a good leader and all this and stuff. That's what everyone's losing sleep over these days. And you would think as a business owner or as a team lead, you would want you to be a good leader. You'd want your team to like you and to for you to work effectively and efficiently so you can get all your stuff done. There's easy ways of doing that. Very, very, very easy ways of doing that. But you just get some people that the idea of working together and having trust in each other is just like complete foreign concept to them. They're just like analysing every single little thing you do. They're like, every second that you're at work, they need to make sure that you're doing something productive. Like, oh no, if you take 5 seconds longer to come back from your lunch, you're stealing time from the company. How dare you? Even though you literally just needed to, I don't know, for whatever reason. There could be, maybe someone was blocking one of the doors and you had to take a little bit longer. But no, you're stealing time from the company, of course. Like all of this sort of stuff, and it's just like there's no trust. There's no trust from the management that the employees are. Well, no, shouldn't even be calling them employees. They're team members. There's no trust from the managers that the team members have the business's best interests in mind and are going to do their job and do their job effectively. There's no trust from the team members that their managers actually care about them at all, and they're just not seen as another cog in the wheel. And as soon as you don't have that trust, you're never going to get to that nirvana of just everyone just working in equilibrium with each other. And then even then, we were, my boss was sending me stuff about, they call the 7 dysfunctions of a team. And it was, whatchamacallit? So I'm just trying to find my place in the list. There we are. And it's, all the stuff was, it's essentially all about trust, but there are ways, so if you've got a problem, whether it's work or whether it's, with someone else in your team or whatever, any kind of like conflict, if everyone trusts each other, you can have like disagreements on, you know, how to tackle a certain part of the project, or, you know, a certain relationship you have with a team member, or whatever, or even just like a problem that you have with your manager. If that like foundation of trust is there, you can have those disagreements or those conflicts in like a way that is completely productive, and each party has, you know, feels listened to, and you can resolve your disputes in a way that like you have just a base foundation of respect for the other person, and that just makes so much difference, like completely so much difference. Okay, what do we got next? We've got Conan and Saskalast. Okay, and then what? That takes us down to 42. Oh my goodness, my tummy's rumbling. What did I say, Conan? And Saskalast. Oh, you also got to remind me to print off the tickets for tonight. Okay, lovely. Yeah, because I think we, you know, me and the boy think about it often. Everyone goes through that, you know, those reflections and those, you know, reevaluating your life, especially when it comes to like work sort of stuff. Yeah, everyone always has those moments. But like oftentimes we think, you know, if actually no, but then any kind of job, you break it up into the big parts, which is the work itself. So, you know, if you're working at a library, you know, your work is, you know, stacking books on the shelves, and then you've got your team, which is all the peeps around you. You got all this sort of stuff, and they think like, if one was amazing and the other one was meh, what would the balance be that would make work enjoyable at a place? Because like we always like, you know, we think to ourselves, like, is it if the work was amazing but the people were rubbish, would that be enough to keep you to stay? Or would it be if the people were amazing but the work was rubbish, would that make you stay? And it's like, well, at least I don't know about the word, but yeah, what is flippity-flopping between what would I actually prefer? Because I've been in every kind of situation. I've been in a place where I absolutely adored the work and the people were rubbish. Except a few actually, I say not everyone was, but the people that mattered I suppose were rubbish. I've been in a place where the work was rubbish and only a small select group of people were great. And I miss them dearly, and I hope that they're doing fine wherever they are. And then I've been in a place where, actually I haven't actually been to a place where the work was rubbish and the people were rubbish. Yeah, I've been where the work was great, people rubbish. Work was rubbish, some were great, so I suppose you could say people were rubbish. And I've been in a place where the work is great and the people are great. So I haven't actually been at a place where the work was rubbish but the people were great. But anyway, but my sort of feeling is, you know, whenever we think about it, we always think if you can find a place where the people around you want you to succeed and want to help you to succeed, that makes an absolute world of difference. Like completely and utterly makes a world of difference. Now, ideally, you would also want to be doing something that you love, but like, there's absolutely nothing like a rubbish manager or rubbish teammates or whatever just to ruin your day. Absolutely nothing like it at all. Okay, I'm just thinking, where am I at? I might do one more fight. One more set of fights, should I say. I'm just going to do Lee and Itachi Akatsuki. What's the time? 10:35, yeah. And now I'm just thinking of breakfast because my tummy's growling so much. I'm just now just thinking of breakfast. So I reckon Thursday I might actually be able to hit 90. I reckon. If I start on time. Well, no, actually no, I started ahead of time actually. But yeah. If I could just get all my stuff set up, and so I have and remember remember to make it so you can actually see the game screen. It always happens whenever I'm switching between games. Or should I do 4 more fights to get up to 90? Yeah, I'll actually do that. We'll get up to 90 fights today. Yeah, we'll do it. Oh, come on. Okay, now go up to Sage mode and A. After these 2 fights will be Obito Masked Man and Yamkiba. I say that as I'm missing everything. Stop dancing. Okay, right, last matchup for the day. Peter Mass Man and Kiba, wasn't it? Yes. Fabulous. I think after this, so when I input these all into my sheet, because we're at 29.09, 29.09% of the way done. So I believe after this one we'll be at 29.9, but I've got a feeling we might actually be at 30%. Yeah, we'll be at 30%. I think I'm just going to do this to the end. Yeah. Lovely. Okay, coming up to the last fight. Who was I just facing? Kiba and... Lovely. Fabulous. Fabulous. Okie dokie. That is us for today. Lovely. So we managed to get 90 fights, which was way more. Actually, was it way more? Well, no. So I think the 60 FPS is helping. I'm actually technically getting through fights faster, like ish, like little like seconds here and there. I think. Or maybe it's. I'm just saying. I might actually have a couple of theories on why why I seem to be going faster. But anyway, it's of course the more the merrier, I guess. But anyway. Let me just update my list because I'm down to, what was that, 84. So I'm down to 734, which is lovely. It's amazing. Yeah, so I will call it there for today. Next week should be a normal week. So Thursday will be day 49. And then Friday, Saturday will be trails, and then Sunday will be day 50. Ooh, day 50. Be interesting to see how many I've managed to do in 50 days. But anyway, as I said, I'll call it there. Thank you very, very, very much for joining me today. I hope you have a fabulous morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you guys is in the world today. And I will catch you all next week. Bye.